Hello, and welcome back to Sary Maz. We're not actually playing any games today.
No.
We're actually just gonna talk about games, which is, just as good, right?
Right.
Anyways.
It's the same. Almost.
Yeah.
Not quite. Even
So,
the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If anyone's interested in what we think and our opinions, then keep listening. If not, then why are you here? So what we thought we'd do is we do a top 10 list of just an arbitrary, our opinion, what we personally have at this point in time think what our favorite top 10 games are. We'll Maz, do you want to get us started?
Okay, so for my number 10, I had to think long and hard about this because I wanted my number 10 to be like a really casual, I sink a lot of games into a little hours, like you're in a waiting room and what are you going to play? But I didn't go with that one because I was thinking like Bejeweled or House Flipper or something like that. But in the end, I went with a more influential number 10, which is Guitar Hero.
Oh, Guitar Hero.
Because
I myself have played a little bit of that particular game.
Yes, because it heavily influenced the type of music that I listen to now today. Introduced me to a lot of bands and artists and songs that I hadn't actually heard before I started playing it. And it was also gifted to me, the console and the game and the guitars and everything was gifted to me when I first moved out of home by my brother. So
it's a very iconic game for you in your
very developmentally
in your anime arc.
Yes, it was an influential game at the time, and I didn't really have many games or consoles when I first moved out of home. So yeah.
That's a great number 10. That's a good way to start us off. Yeah.
Guitar Hero. There you go. What's yours?
So mine is. Look, I'm going to admit before I start my whole list here, I spent several hours picking and choosing, going, but I like this one, but I like this one more. Every time I think of a game, I'm like, but I love that game. If I had my way, this video would be about the length of a movie. And not those short 20-minute movies. I'm talking like 4-hour movie, whatever, of top 100 games that I love, because I love all of them and it's really hard to choose. Anyways, that being said, my number 10 is Mount and Blade Warband specifically. So that one is, according to my Steam list, somewhere in my top 20, not in my top 10, but still in my top 20. And it was just a game I played. I played it quite a bit, but I really enjoyed. It's I should explain what the game is in case anyone hasn't played it before. But basically, you got to run around in medieval times. Also, I think as a ruler and a person, or as a banner lord, or whatever you want to call them, and recruit an army. Go either help or fight villages, fight off bandits. You got to rally around a horse.
That sounds like
that was
fun.
the main thing.
I've never played it, and that sounds like a good time.
Great. Oh, it's so good. It's got like third person combat. It's got you could shoot arrows from your horse.
Yeah.
That was the, and you can have it's like a war simulator, like an old schooly war simulator type game, but like it was all third person, I believe. It's been a while since I played it, to be fair, but it's so great. It's not that it was groundbreaking in its story or groundbreaking in its gameplay, but just everything together just made the gameplay, the mechanics, just made it for a really, really fun game. There was so much to do in it. It's kind of like the addictiveness of an MMO, but you only play by yourself. Or at least in the one that I did, just single player. And it was just really fun. I think the main draw card for me is you could ride around on a horse and kill people. It was really good.
At least you're being honest.
Yeah.
So
what's your Sorry.
Another thing I wanted to say about my number 10 is Guitar Hero was old when it was gifted to me. Like, you know when you move home and everyone's like, oh, I've got this broken waffle maker and it's broken on one side, but it still works and it's yours now. You know,
it's broken, but it still works.
It's still, it was that. It was, I don't want this console and this fake guitar in my house anymore. It's yours now. You're welcome. You know?
I will just add on to that I got my Xbox 360 and Guitar Hero controller not in the same way, but in a similar fashion. Somebody at my pizza job when I first moved out of home again, so same sort of
idea.
thing, same idea. And they were like, I'm getting rid of my 360 because it was, you know, the new one was about to come out or something, or it had already come out, and I didn't have any consoles of my own. Like, I didn't even have a handheld Game Boy or nothing. Like, I had nothing of my own. So they were like, oh, I'll sell it to you for, like, I don't know, I think it was like $50 or $100 or something like that. Like, not very much. Like, I could afford it with my pizza job. And they're like, oh, I'm getting rid of this. You can have, like, the Guitar Hero thing and the console and the I think I got Viva Pinata.
Viva Pinata, yeah.
As like, it's like, oh, here, have some of these games too. And I think maybe I can't remember what else, but those was like Guitar Hero and Viva Pinata were like the two main games that I got with it, as part of this. Take this off my hands, please, for like really cheap, like $50 or whatever it was. Yeah. So, yeah, that was I guess my first console of my own that I had. So very, very similar. Yeah.
Yeah. My brother didn't make me pay for it. He just like gave it to me. Like, oh, sweet, see ya, here you go. You know, have fun.
Yeah, actually, let me know your number 9.
My number 9. Okay, so this is a very recent game. Are you overweight and a nerd and don't want to go to the gym? Do I have a game for you? It's called Beat Saber. It's Beat Saber, yes. Woo! The perfect lockdown game for getting fit, getting that cardio in. It's Beat Saber. You'll put a lot of hours in and you will sweat. You will sweat.
Oh, it's the
and you
greatest.
Will sweat. Yes.
It's the greatest video game trick of all time to get us to exercise. Like, I thought they were like, oh yeah, let's get the Wii, get you swing your arm, and then we figured out we didn't have to actually stand up and do nothing.
Their problem there is they didn't make it into enough of a challenging game. Like,
yes,
Beat Saber, you're constantly wanting to one up it, or you miss like 2 notes, and you're like, screw it.
It's like, no, I have to start over.
Yeah, doing it again. I don't care if my arms hurt. I'm gonna get it right. I'm gonna get that S rank, baby. Like,
yes. Oh, I was like that going through the double S rank where you have to have less than 10%. You have to have more than 90% accuracy or points, or like total points. Like not even accuracy. You have to have 100% accuracy and like 90% of total possible points for double S rank. I finally got it, but I was nearly killed myself trying to get the double S rank. Well, I've got it on a couple of songs now, but man, that was like a mountain to climb for me.
I just want to say that even though it's my number 9, I know that you have played it far more than I have, and you've lost a bit of weight playing it as well, haven't you? Yeah.
Yes, it's absolutely, which is why I 100% endorse this being on, at least on your list. I nearly had it on my list, but it got bumped off by, like, as I said, I need a top 50 list, not a top 10.
Yes.
But it would definitely be in my top 20 games, for sure, because I love the idea of it, not just that it's fun and, like, they're constantly still updating and giving us new songs and packs to buy. I recently bought the Panic at the Disco pack. That was really good. It's just, I love the concept. It's really fun, and it's a great direction for games to be going as well, like for VR and specifically.
More physical.
And it's making, like, VR more mainstream as well. I mean, well, Oculus and Facebook are doing that too, but it's the perfect game for VR. And I likened it to back in the day audio surf. I had it like basically in the same basket for me, but
audio surf. Yeah,
it's a beat matching game that people just love, and in that one you can import your own music and play your own songs and that sort of thing. So that was a draw card there, but combining it with VR and actually moving around is like just that next step further, which is I think really great. Sorry, I'm talking.
It's funny
about your game.
Yeah, because it's my number 9, and you're just going.
It's your number 9.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's so good. I love it. See, that's how good the game is. You should get it. Yes. If you're a nerd,
it's literally called a must-have on the Oculus store. I think.
Yes,
like they see
is.
Must-haves for the Quest.
It is like, a must. Yep. Yeah. Like if you want to lose weight and you've got the smeckles to get a VR set, I would highly recommend giving this a go.
I mean, yes, people say you can just go for a walk or a jog or run around your yard, whatever. There's nothing like the motivation of wanting to level up in a game that will cause you to just spend that whole, like, I'll sometimes do an hour and a half at a time, taking 30-second breaks between songs.
Yep.
And just because I want to, get that extra thing, or when they introduced multiplayer not that long ago, I'll be like, I didn't come first in that one. I have to play again. I have to beat this guy that's in my lobby. And things like that. So yeah, very tapping into that competitiveness of gaming, and that, or the completionist, or whatever part of Beat Saber that you like. It's definitely like way greater motivator than anything else you could put in front of a gamer. Yeah,
and
for
I
sure.
have to say, the music made for the courses, it's good. Like, they're not all going to be winners for you personally, but you can find a couple of songs in there. Most of them are bangers. You can find a couple of bangers in there that really get to you, that will keep you playing. Like, yeah. Okay. Yeah. What's your number?
We better move along, because we're gonna.
Gushing.
I'm pretty sure we're gonna have to divide this into like 4 videos at this stage.
Yeah, sorry.
Anyways, no. Well, it's good. We'll just have a chat, whatever. We're chill. We're just hanging out, just chatting.
Just a couple of buds.
My number 9 is. It used to be called Sequence. I bought it when it was called Sequence. It's actually now called, if you look at it in the Steam store, it's called Before the Echo. It is just a little indie game, but I say but it's such a great game. It is, funnily enough, a beat matching game.
Ooh.
Yeah, but it's got an amazing story behind it. So you, I won't spoil the story, but I'll basically say that you play as a character, and you have to find your way through. I believe you have like amnesia to start with. You have to figure out what's going on, and you're trapped somewhere, and you have to get out. That's all I'll say. But
sounds
basically,
like a horror movie setup, like a horror game setup.
It's not a horror. It's funny, lighthearted. It's very comedic. It references a lot of internet humor, which at the time when I was playing it, I really appreciated. But not just that. The writing in it and the dialogue are just really well done, and it has, for a beat matching game, it has a story. The gameplay itself is really well done. The difficulty scaling, they, instead of perhaps more akin to Beats, at the time there was not really as like with Beat Saber, they plan out the maps of the beats and that sort of thing, but at the time we didn't have Beat Saber. This was way back in the day. Other beat matching games tended to feel a bit more, generated, or people didn't like fine tune every song so that it felt natural for the beats that were matched. I just felt like these guys, when they created their beat mapping, that they did it so well, so that the gameplay just felt smooth and really fun to play, but also just that level of difficulty that was good without being, this is stupid, this doesn't make any sense when you're playing it. Especially as a musician, I really appreciated like how well they paid attention to getting the gameplay of a beat matching game like down pat sort of thing. So,
so far I will say that you've played my 9 and 10. I have not even heard of your 9 and 10.
Yes. No, well, see, that's the thing.
So you're like a connoisseur of games.
I thought long and hard. Now, there are going to be some big name ones on my list as well. But when I was thinking about my favorite games, when I review my whole list, it's a mixed bag. But a lot of games that you don't play for very long, or you complete them fairly not easily, but you complete them fairly quickly. But they still stay with you because they're just really well done. Yeah. Just little indie games. Like, there's a lot of indie games on my list, actually, and that's because, there's at one point there was a surge of really, really great indie games that they could just put out that game and not have to worry about, you
could rely
thousands of
more
overheads, and they could just
on story, and and
they could really get their artistic vision out there because they weren't beholden to some huge game company AAA title thing that has to pump out 1 million sales or it's considered a failure. Like, creating it because that's what you wanted to create. They
feel like they have more soul and life in them.
They do, because they really do. And I'm drawn. I really found that a lot of the games on my list, like, the first thing I'll say, it's got a great story, and that's probably my personal preference. That's not everybody's cup of tea, but my personal preference, like, for a game to be all round good, in general, I think you can't ignore it having a story, unless it's, obviously there are some exceptions, but, like, for the most part, if it's got a good story, it's going to rank pretty high with me, basically.
All right. Yeah. Moving on.
You're number 8.
Yeah, let me just get the list. It's closed down. We talk so much.
Oh, sorry.
Okay.
Just pull me up. I just go on and on.
Okay. So, my number 8. It's on here for a reason. It is, for me, the ultimate. You've got some friends coming around. What are you gonna do? It's Mario Kart.
Of course.
Mario Kart is the gift that keeps on giving. It works so well with couple generations older than us, and it still works for the kids that are a couple decades beneath us as well. It's a classic. It's a classic. It's a good all rounder, and everyone can pick it up pretty quickly. Yeah, I play it with my nieces, my nephews, even friends that aren't gamers will play Mario Kart. If you've got them around and they're like, oh, I'm not a gamer, you're like, well, you'll play Mario Kart though, won't you?
You could hit the A button and accelerate,
Yeah, they will play Mario Kart. And, Yep. I mean, the only exception to this rule would probably be my parents, but, they don't know what consoles are, so whatever.
Yeah, but, if you've got, pretty much most people can just go, okay, I'll join in, what do I do? Oh, I know how to turn, because it's so similar, well, not so similar, but it's somewhat similar to a real-life experience, which is driving a car. I know how a car works, I need to go forward and I need to turn. There are other mechanics, of course, also, which you tell them along the way, but, the very basics that you need to play Mario Kart are already taught to you.
Yes, it's not hard to pick up, it's fun. And also the amount of Mario Kart induced rages that will ensue when you've got a couple of, keen players is fantastic. So you don't even have to be playing to enjoy Mario Kart, it's the experience.
You can just watch the
chaos ensue, yeah. Yeah, no, that's why it's on my list. Your go.
Yes, that's a solid choice. All right, my number 8 is, and I won't spend too long on these ones because I go on and on, is Retica, an item shop tale. Another, I don't know if it's an indie game or not. I probably should have gone back and looked at it, but I really enjoyed it. It's a dungeon crawler. It's got a great story, and it's got great gameplay.
I love a good dungeon crawl. I do.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, it's so great. So, yeah, basically you play as an item shopkeeper.
Oh my god, yes. Yeah, keep going. Yep.
Yeah, you probably have heard
Yes.
talked about a little bit before, but yeah, probably not played it yourself. So yes, it's just really great. It's got a great story. It's got great gameplay. I love a good dungeon crawler grinder that lets me level up and 100% or get, all of the things or all of the items and get all the money and buy all the upgrades and all of the stuff. That appeals to my completionists in me. So so that's Redica Item Shop Tale. It's on Steam. It's a great game.
That like there's one on the Switch called like Moonlight or something, and it sounds very similar.
I don't doubt. Like again, this is probably a bit of an older game. Like it's been out for quite some time now, but it's a good game with a good story built around it. So that's my number 8.
Solid game.
Your number 7?
my number 7. Okay, this is on the list because it was heavily influential in a genre that I personally enjoy. Like, if you don't know me, I love horror movies. I love horror games. I love that experience. In this game, I would say single-handedly brought about just a freaking tsunami of horror games of similar style, and that is Amnesia: The Dark Descent.
Ah, yes.
Yes. It was very popular with Let's Players if you were living under a rock and you missed that. Many important personalities really helped with that game, and it is a tidy story. It's a good story. I mean, you do have your tropes in there, like having amnesia and whatnot, and I'm the monster all along, spoilers. But yeah.
Look, if you were gonna play it and you haven't by now,
it's been out for a while.
What are you doing? Stop watching this video, go play it if you wanted to. On the other hand, have played a very small amount of it on somebody else's account, I think. I don't know if I own it. If it's in my Steam library, I'll be like, okay, cool. Didn't play very much because, as previously established, I'm a huge scaredy cat. But
it's very atmospheric. It took its cue. Like, Silent Hill is obviously an OG of the horror game community. Who's not on my list? I'm sorry, Silent Hill. But
look, we couldn't fit all of you.
But it really did start. Atmosphere over. There's types of horror, okay? There's like slasher horror, and then there's that creepy feeling, and Amnesia really excelled in the creepy feeling, like an evil mansion and atrocities are afoot, and it's good. It's a good game.
Yeah. No, I think most people will know why Amnesia is on your list, if they're a horror fan. So
it breathed a new life into the horror genre, which had kind of been limping along for a bit there. So yeah, it reminded people about the style and how good horror games could be, like survival horror and whatnot.
Oh, definitely. Speaking on horror and things, not quite, but a little bit more macabre, my number 7 is Graveyard Keeper.
Ooh.
Graveyard Keeper, so it's another indie title. Graveyard Keeper, I actually bought, I think the alpha version, when it was in alpha. It was more like, donate and we'll do the thing, and you get the alpha and that sort of thing, and you get the actual game when it comes out. And was like, well, I'm fully committed. I bought the alpha, the upgrade pack with the OST and the whole thing, because I played, I saw the trailer, and I was like, it's Stardew Valley, but you're a graveyard keeper. Mm-hmm. And I was like, nah, I don't care. It was like, even like the upgraded pack was like $30 or something, not very much. I was like, I'm buying all of the whatever tier it is. So I bought pre-bought the game, I suppose, and then they emailed you a file with the alpha to play. So I'd like played the alpha. Oh, it was so good. It is. So basically what it is it's Stardew Valley, but you wake up and you're like amnesia or you get hit by a truck and you not amnesia, sorry. You get hit by a truck and you're like, why am I here? Like, I was in normal place, now I am here, and what's going on?
Are you the new keeper, and you like have to look after everything, don't you?
Yes. So you are, as the graveyard keeper, because it's like olden times, like there's donkeys and carts and things and whatnots.
So what happens when you succeed? Is there an ending?
Now that would be spoilers now, wouldn't it?
Yes, sorry.
So in the vein of Stardew Valley, there is a progressive plot that you go along. As you go, though, you are building up your graveyard. The bodies get dropped off to you. You need to process the bodies. You need to bury them. You need to make your graveyard really good and earn points to make it good. You also are in charge of the church. So, so you're actually the priest person as well. So you actually hold services each week as well. And have the upkeep of the church as part of your responsibilities, because the graveyard and the church, I guess in the old days, I think, and it kind of makes sense, that was one and the same. So, as well as being the graveyard keeper, you're also in charge of the services in the church and that sort of thing. So you had to look after the churchyard. In fact, the graveyard is in the churchyard in the game.
I would say that as the graveyard keeper, you were probably in charge of the wakes. Mortician stuff back in the day. But honestly, I don't have this game, and it sounds like I need this game in my life.
You do need this game.
Yes.
I can't believe I haven't told you about it before. If I haven't, I guess I keep getting distracted by other games. So even though this is really high on my list, I haven't actually finished it all the way through when it came out on Steam, because I played it as much as there was in the alpha, and then there was still things coming out, and there was a few bugs and glitches, but it's alpha, whatever. So it came out on Steam, and I started playing my way back through it, because you start from scratch. From alpha, you can't carry over your progress, which I was fully expecting. But I haven't got back through it again to where I was before to go continue on with the story. But when I first played it was like really, really good. It's got a great story. The humor is really good. It's funny. It sounds like it's dank and miserable, but it's actually macabre sort of humor.
That's a start.
It's just
like a
really
gothic.
good. Yeah. So anyways, it's a great game. It's a little indie game. It is out on Steam now. It has been for quite some time, but I've played it since the alpha, and even back then it was like I could see that it was a really on the same level as Stardew Valley, basically, if not. Well, Stardew Valley's really good as well, so I'm not going to say it's better than Stardew Valley, but it's at least as good as it. Yeah. So definitely recommended that one.
Yeah. No, that sounds right up my alley. Yeah.
That's me. That's my number 7. Your number 6?
You've already said it. Stardew.
Yeah. So that's very interesting. Same tier in the list. The kind of game where you start farming and grinding and gathering materials and doing stuff. Yeah.
You get so invested, though, don't you? You get ridiculously invested in the story and the people and whoever you wish to marry. Just grinding so you can give them the perfect life and the perfect baby and whatnot. It's good. Working on those personal relationships, it's an indie game, and it's freaking amazing, and it's not the state-of-the-art graphics or anything, but it doesn't need to be, because the story is so strong in it and it's so immersive regardless. I'm all about immersive games, because I want to forget.
I have to say though, even though if we're talking about graphics, we're talking about the pixel art of Stardew Valley.
Yes.
The pixel art for Stardew Valley, though, is still really good.
It's very
good. As in,
good.
You can have bad pixel art. You don't, we're talking about, you don't need to have high-res quality graphics to,
you don't need
high-res graphics to have a good game.
AAA quality rendering for it to be an amazing game.
Yeah. Yes. I also don't think you need, 3D graphics and that sort of thing for the game to be visually appealing as well. I don't want to say, even though it's pixel art, it still is a really good game. It's with the pixel art, it is also still a really good game. To me, Stardew Valley and Graveyard Keeper as well, on the same level with pixel art where you walk around, and when I say it's like Stardew Valley, it's got the same, you're a person, you walk around on the screen and it's pixel art and that sort of thing. So, the pixel art, I think, is still really well done in both games. It's not, oh, it's pixel art. It's like, no, it's pixel art, but it's also really good pixel art, you know, because you can have bad pixel art.
It's S-tier pixel art.
It's S-tier. It is. It really is.
S-tier pixel art. Yeah, and it is. It really is. And, yeah, I think it's just amazing that basically one guy built this entire game, and it's really
the story
good.
of how Stardew Valley came to be is absolutely amazing. I think we talked about it on a previous episode of the documentary. Oh, there's probably a couple on it, but the documentary by that guy Glenn does a lot of really good documentaries of how indie games blew up and things like that. So a lot of his documentaries are really good to go and watch and like actually see. If you don't know the story of Stardew Valley, definitely go check it out.
All right, your go.
Yeah. What are we up to? 6? I've forgotten.
I'm up to 5. My next one's 5.
All right. We might do my number 6 and then go and do a
do
a second video because we're gonna.
Who knew that we would talk so much about the games that we
love?
Love.
Exactly. My number 6 is, and this is where it gets a bit more generic. It's Age of Empires. Specifically the Age of Empires series. So Age of Empires 1, 2, and 3, plus Age of Mythology. Played them all, loved them all.
Yeah, you still play them. You still play them.
Still play them.
I get the little Steam alert where it pops up where it's like, you're playing Age of Empires. And I'm like, yeah, of course she is. Like, duh.
Look, when they brought out the remaster of Age of Empires 1, I was like, I gotta play all the campaigns again. Like, I learned history from Age of Empires, I think. I hope I did. I didn't learn wrong history.
How old were you when you started on that one? Oh, well, you were quite
Age of Empires
young.
was... Look, the reason this one's on my list as well is it's another iconic time in my life one. It was the first Windows game I ever played.
Nice.
And I'll tell you, when we first got a Windows computer, Windows 95 to be exact, we're not including 3.1 because that's technically DOS, whatever. So Windows 95 computer, and whoever sold it to us also sold us like the Age of Empires game disc, or it came with it or something along those lines. Anyways, I just remember knowing that one of the games, very first games that we played that was on that, was Age of Empires 1. And I loved it. I played it to death.
Yeah, it would have blown your mind at that age. Like,
going from DOS, you know, like little edutainments or whatever, you know, DOS games. You know what DOS games are. We've been through a bunch of those.
Point and click. Yeah.
Yeah. So all of those things. Here we are going to an actual Windows 3D graphics, like proper 3D graphics game. And it was absolutely mind-blowing, and that's and then obviously following the series along to Age of Empires 2, where it got better. 3 not so bad. 3 was okay. There was a lot of differences in 3. Let's not talk about number 3. Age of Mythology, I still play with my family, actually. My brother-in-law and my sister and my sisters, we get together every month or so and have a myth night. So we'll get on Discord, we'll load up Age of Mythology, and we'll play. It's just great. The replayability is it's why am I going on about this? Everybody that's listening obviously knows how great the Age of Empires series are, so I'm going to just shut up now.
It's a solid choice, and I think it's very sweet that you have a family that approves of your gaming choices. A lot of people don't have that. Yeah. Like, I'm flat out getting mine to play Mario Kart, you know, and that's pretty...
Yeah. I mean, it's good. I really like that we can just, like, there's a game, like, we don't all agree on the kind of games that we like, and I must say that, not all of my family are, like, huge gamers, like, definitely not as, I'd probably be the biggest gamer in my family, by far, not just bragging, that's just how it is. But this one game we know we all love to play, we can come together and play it, and it's just really nice. So, anyways, that's my number 6.
I would also say that you are more of a gamer than myself. because
Well,
I
I
still
mean,
consider
look.
myself to be a casual gamer when I compare myself to you, and
Yeah,
compared
but
to
that's
yeah.
look, not for nothing, but like you probably don't want to be as playing as many games as me anyway. That's probably unhealthy. Anyways, whatever. That's the end of this episode. We'll catch you next time on Sary and Maz. Not play things, but we'll just talk about stuff some more and continue
Yep.
this list.
You're welcome.
Yep. Bye.